Welcome to the Wanaka podcast. I'm your host, Jess Eastwood, and today I'm joined with Chris Walsh from Base Streetwear here in Wanaka. With 20 years of experience, Chris offers his insight into the world of retail and what it's really like owning and managing various shops in Wanaka and Queenstown. Not shy of a good yarn, Chris opens up to me about some of the challenges in business and the realities of living your job. He shares how he's overcome many aspects in his personal and business life over the 20 years. The passion he has for retail is rather infectious, and his enthusiasm is always inspiring. A keen snowboarder, mountain biker, and dad, you're in for a great listen here. Hey Chris, how's your day been so far?
Good, thanks, Jess.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Had a couple of meetings. I took my two managers out for lunch, gave them a little bonus.
Nice.
Which is very enjoyable. Yeah, it's been a good day.
Awesome.
Packed up some orders, worked on the floor for a little bit.
Sound like a good day in retail then.
It was.
So the reason I've got you on today is because you're a very interesting person and we want to hear more about you, but also about your business, Base Streetwear, here in Wanaka. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about your business, what it is, where it is, and how long it's been running?
I've got a streetwear clothing store in Wanaka downtown that I started with a couple of other people 20 years ago, in 1999, coming up to our 21st birthday this December.
Pretty cool.
And then over the years I've bought my business partners out and I run that on my own now. And I love clothing and the industry, and I always have ever since I was a kid. It's something I wanted to do ever since I was in high school.
Awesome. So you're selling streetwear in that store, aren't you?
Yeah, streetwear and accessories, sunglasses, handbags, a bunch of cool New Zealand brands and international brands, all the sort of streetwear brands.
Yeah, it's like an iconic spot in Wanaka's township now.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the store. We were the first tenant in that store. It was a park. It was called Plod's Patch, and it was next to the police station, and it was a new development, and we were the very first people in there, and we did a very original fit out, and the store is still there today. So I'm the one and only tenant that's ever been there.
Pretty amazing. I still remember when you opened.
Yeah, there was a rumour going around town that it was going to be McDonald's. Someone told me that our store was going to be McDonald's, and I was completely freaked out about it, and I just smiled.
Just you wait. It's going to be much better than that. How many staff have you got now?
We currently have 5 staff, and then I've got a couple of part-timers as well, a couple of people that have worked for me over the years that have just come in and work on a part-time basis.
Nice. Yeah. Good. Keep them rolling. I can hear that Aussie twang you've got under there, trying to hide away.
It's true.
Why don't you tell us all about how you ended up in Wanaka all those years ago, and you said you always wanted to open a store, but how did it kind of evolve?
I came to Wanaka. So I worked in retail in Australia. I started working in a clothing store when I was at high school on Thursday nights and Saturday mornings, and I really wanted to do that because I loved clothing, and I really enjoyed working in a shop. And then when I left school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I enjoyed that, so I went and worked in retail in Australia. I worked in a men's clothing store that sold suits predominantly. So I did that for a few years, and I became a manager in that store. I was their youngest manager at 21.
Nice.
And then I left there and I worked with my father for a few years. He's in the air conditioning industry, and I learned a lot working with my dad. He's a very entrepreneurial person, very inspiring. And then I ended up working in a bunch of different clothing stores, and then I got right into snowboarding and did some seasons in Australia and Canada, and I'd always work in snow retail, or rental shops. So I love that customer service and helping customers, and I love the snow. And I'd just done a season in Canada, and I was heading back to Australia, and I thought I'd heard all about treble cone, and I thought I want to go and do a season in treble cone, and I didn't even really know where it was. So I came to Wanaka, and with the goal to work at go snowboarding at treble cone.
Yeah.
And I worked at Good Sports back in the day, which is now Outside Sports. And during that time, I fell in love with Wanaka, and I was like, wow, I would love to have a shop here. And I met a couple of guys who worked at Good Sports, and the three of us got into a chat, and we decided that we should open a store together. Then one of those people wanted to open a ski shop. wanted to have a tuning store, and I wanted to have a clothing store, and we all got together and found that location and opened a year later in 1999.
That's pretty massive to open a store like that in a pretty sleepy holiday town back 20 years ago. But the town was, as I remember, crying out for it. It was wanted, but it must have been pretty full on to have come over from Australia and then to just, dive into all of that. How did you get to the point where it was actually happening? Did you just find the land, or
it was really so I had I had a strong desire to have my own shop, and I did a bunch of studies. I did a management and marketing course when I was in my late teens at like Polytech in Australia, and I did a study on stores and fit outs, and I always wanted to have my own shop. I love the thought of having my own store. And in Wanaka, back in '98, the stores just seemed to me to be about 10 years behind Australia. Like it was, the service was really terrible, and the layout and the stock in the shops were substandard to what I was used to. And I just saw that as a huge opportunity to have a store in a town where there wasn't a huge amount of strong competition, and I saw that as an opportunity.
Yeah, cool.
To do what I always wanted to do.
So having your dad into running his own business, and obviously you watched that as a child and he inspired you. Do you think that helped you have the it's massive, it's scary to open a business in a new town, in a whole new world of business? Do you think that like having that in part of your childhood and watching that helped you make that happen?
Yeah, it definitely did, Jess. I remember at high school and in careers, you went in there and you started talking about what you might want to do when you leave school, and there was all farming or a baker or a policeman or all those sort of things. And I really struggled with all those things. And I went home and I talked to my dad about it. I said, I really want to be my own boss. What is that? And he said, that's an entrepreneur. And I didn't know how to spell it. I said, how do you spell that? So I went to school, and when they talked about what you want to do as a career, I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to employ others and be my own boss, and I don't really want to be an employee. And that's what my father did. He's in the air conditioning business, a completely different business. But I worked with him for about 3 years, and he taught me a lot about business and doing the right thing by others, and looking after people. And he was definitely very inspiring and encouraging. I was really scared to open a business in New Zealand. I went back to Australia, and I was sitting in Australia, and I had a lot of fear about leaving home and going to a new country and what that meant. And he said that it was a good thing to do because it's something I was experienced in. And he always said, hey, don't go and open a business that you're not experienced in. That's where people fail. But if it's something that you've worked in and you understand what it is, then you've got a much stronger chance of success. And I do see that in a lot of people. People start businesses that think it looks exciting but have no experience, and it's much harder than working. So he said to me, hey, if you want to start your own business, work in that business for someone else, learn it, and then go and do it, which is what I kind of did. Good
advice. That's, serious mentorship there already.
Yeah, it was great. And since then, I have experimented in other businesses that I have no expertise in, and they did seem shiny and glossy from the outside. But when you actually get involved, they didn't work out as planned, and that was definitely a learning curve for me.
Awesome. I look forward to talking about that. Hey, so I actually worked for you 16 years ago. I worked out that little nugget, which makes me feel really old, but you're older than me because you were my boss. So I was just thinking about this the other day, and it was an awesome time that I had working for you back then. It was like a family working in the shop, and, there were connections, and the people that I worked with then are still my friends now, and they live all over the world. And I didn't actually work for you for that long. I think it was only like a year and a half or 2 years all up. And, how did that happen that you ingrained such, and do you still now try to ingrain that connectivity with your staff. And, because I know that it wasn't just me who stayed friends with those people. I know that as the years have evolved and you've had different staff turnover, everyone's sort of stayed connected. How do you do that?
That's something that's been really important to me. When I started Base, I really looked hard at jobs that I had. I didn't really feel that many people had looked after me or got the best out of me. And I was always a strong salesperson for any of the companies I worked for. But I would get rewarded and different things and incentivized. But where people failed with me personally was saying just saying thank you. People forgot to say thank you and appreciate or understand or take the time to see what you're actually doing and acknowledge that. So I had a really strong focus right from the get-go to do that, to thank people, acknowledge people, and also just be part of the team. I hate being referred to as the boss. I like to be referred to as the guy who works at Base. And if someone asks me, what do you do? I say that I work at the shop. I do not tell people that I own it.
Yeah.
So I like a really flat structure and just being part of the team. I like to get involved and do things at all levels, whether it's working on the shop floor or unpacking some stock or cleaning or tidying a window up or anything. And I think working together with the staff as opposed to telling the staff what to do creates a culture.
Yeah.
And when you're at work, if you're having fun, you tend to perform at your best. So I really encourage my crew to have the best fun they can, and I try to have fun and be really positive and upbeat at work no matter what.
Yeah, so like leave life at the door, come in, but have fun with everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty well. I'm pretty good. If I'm having any hassles, I definitely don't take it to work. I don't want to bring that on to any of my staff or employees, and I encourage them to be the same way, because they're dealing with the public and customers, and they're the face of my store. And if you're coming into the shop, I want to have an awesome experience, and I want people to have a fun time and hang out there and have a really memorable experience where they go away and say, that was awesome, whether they made a purchase or not.
So it's about the feelings
It's
as
about
they
the
leave.
feeling and the vibe. And I've been lucky to work with so many people. I've probably employed hundreds of people. And generally, a lot of people say to me that they really love working at the store, and it's been a great experience. And it's not about making people, push people out of their comfort zone. It's just allowing people to be themselves and be awesome, be at the best they can be.
So you embrace their uniqueness, and which in turn drives performance from them through you being around them.
Yeah, I do. I'm all about consistency, Jess. So I do a lot of training and try to get everyone right from the start. I've got a bit of a training module. It's all about customer service. So we always go through that, so everyone's the same. So it doesn't matter whether they get served by you or anyone in the store. We're all talking the same language, but I do encourage people to be themselves and not be a robot version of me.
Yeah, for sure.
But go out of their way to give people a great experience and have a lot of fun doing it.
That's
in store.
Awesome.
I'd rather people be fooling around, goofing off and having a blast than being too serious. I don't like people being too serious.
Yeah, but still knowing what they need to do.
Yeah, we take things seriously at Base about what we do, definitely, but
enjoying it at the same time.
In a fun way.
Yeah, you can cross both of them over. So you said you've employed hundreds of people. Obviously, it's a ski town in the winter and then a summer town, so there's lots of transient folk. How do you cope with having to train stuff up constantly and that turnover?
I've been lucky in my Wanaka store of keeping my employees for quite some time. Generally, winter is a busier time, winter or high summer, so I get part-time people then, and quite often they might be a university student or someone that's travelling, so they'll work for a fixed period of time and then leave. And then my core staff tend to stay. I'm blessed to have Daisy working with me, who's been with me for 11 years.
Lovely Daisy.
And she's my wing girl. She's just awesome. She's like a business partner that works for me. She's just great. Cool. And now I've got Zoe managing the store, Aussie girl. She's just great too. But I tend to keep a hold of people for 4 or 5 years at a time, my key employees. And I think they like staying with me because I look after them so well and have that fun vibe. And I do try to really look after my team, and treat them really well, like I would be expected to be myself, and give them nice surprises and do great things for them.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm just thinking of lots of people that have worked for you and you have pushed them to be themselves and like believe in themselves. Like there's a lot of people that have left there and opened their own businesses, as they've gone on, so that you're part of that journey. So that's pretty awesome.
No, I'm proud of that. I like to inspire people just to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
That's something my dad told me when I was younger. I said, how do you be successful? And he said to me, just do things the best you can, and that's all you need to do. And I said, that can't be that easy. And he said, it is, because most people don't do that.
Yeah,
just
right.
do whatever it is. If you're cleaning something, if you're helping someone out, whatever, anything, just be the best you can be, and everything will come to you. And it is kind of like that.
Yeah, be genuine.
Yeah.
So that was you asking him how to be successful. What is success to you now? You've had businesses for a long time now. What would you... Sorry, curveball question.
No, that's okay, Jess. Success to me, I really hold on to things. I like things to be perfect somewhat. I really like to have an amazing looking store, and great customer service, great products, and that fun environment. And I'm very particular about presentation in store. And I think for me, delivering that and getting some great feedback from someone, it really makes me feel a strong level of success. And that's really how I see success. I've never really been focused on the money. I think that a lot of people in business are driven by the profit, and they forget about the way to get there. And I think that's quite a strong failure of some people. Focusing on the money, for me personally, is not how you become successful. Doing the best you can possibly do and creating something that's absolutely awesome that you feel could not be any better is success. And then the reward is the money.
Financial, yeah. Yeah, because you have to live it every day, so you need to be.
And I'm always improving. I can't help it. I'm always trying to make things better all the time. Never stops.
But that's good.
Yeah,
because
fun.
What happens when that stops? Does that mean it's time to move on?
I don't think it'll ever stop.
Good.
But,
keep going.
And that gives me a lot of enjoyment. Just trying to put the polish on the race car, so to speak.
Endlessly. Now you have a family with 2 children.
Yes.
And a lovely wife. How do you manage the juggle of life? How do you do it all? I've seen a few photos of the kids helping out in store.
Yeah. Yep, it's true. It's always a bit of a juggle. I'm quite fortunate that I can adjust my time at work to suit somewhat. And it didn't used to be that way when I first got started. I was working a lot and really locked in, but I've got some really great people that work with me that I trust, and it's it's training people and having them understand what you want them to do, and then letting people or your staff actually do it on their own and not micromanage them.
Yes.
So
key.
being there or going away and giving them an opportunity to do it. I find quite often when I go on holiday, the shop performs at its absolute best.
You're right.
Because the crew, I think, are in there. I'm not there, so they want to prove to me that they're totally awesome. Now, it's a fine line, because if you're not around, I also find if you're around a lot and you're getting involved, that really creates an awesome culture, and people want to do their best for you too. So it's a fine line, but I try to juggle that. So I give my shop crew time to be there on their own and prove that they can do it, which gives me time with my family. And then other times I'll be around a lot and just be part of the team.
That's awesome. And then you'll just take them out for lunch and give them a bonus.
That's right. I did that today, and that gives me a lot of joy. I was so excited today to take the girls out for lunch and give them I gave them a bit of a bonus, a card with some cash in there as a surprise, and they were really touched, and that made me feel so good.
Yeah.
I love
Which
that.
is where you know that your heart is in the business, and the term that you care for everything and not just the financial reward.
And the more you can give, if you give, you get back. So not being too stingy and giving some stuff away, and it comes back to you double.
Well, it's a lifestyle, Okay, so you've been operating Base for nearly 21 years, come December. You've had some other businesses, retail businesses in there. Do you want to tell us about sort of the trials and the triumphs of them, or what you did there?
Sure. Yeah, it's funny. In business, we're all, as a business person, you're encouraged. The culture is to grow and expand and get bigger and better. And so I definitely had that, and that was quite strong with some of the business partners I had at the beginning. So we had Base in the corner, and then we started. We had a rental shop across, excuse me, across the street from there. We opened Bella clothing store across the road from New World, women's fashion store, South Beach, Base 2, online store. And over that time, I bought and sold, or built up businesses and sold them. But I found that the more businesses you had, you lost control of them.
Yeah, right.
And none of them were being performed at their absolute best. Maybe they were 80% or 90%. But so you had a lot going on, but nothing was perfect. And I'm someone that really strives for that perfection. And
I'll just tell you that Chris is sitting here with like the whitest shoes I've ever seen. So yes, this perfection talk is real.
So that's true. Well, I love these nice shoes. I love them. I love Nikes, by the way.
Tell us about your shoe fetish.
I do. I'm a little bit crazy about shoes, and I buy shoes specifically Nike. I've always loved Nike. Always worn them since I was a kid. And Adidas, but I'll find a shoe that I love and I'll buy it, and then I'll have it in the wardrobe in its box, and then when my shoes start to get tired, I've always got a fresh set there waiting for me.
This is a man with retail in his heart,
which is something that not many. But I've always got some fresh kicks.
Yeah, it's awesome. Today, I'm jealous right now. Anyway,
so I don't even know what I was talking about then.
No, we were just talking about the various businesses and how over time you notice that it's hard to have that peak performance from all of them.
Yeah, it is, Jess, and some people like to do that, but I didn't like that, and I didn't feel like I was in control. And I think I'm someone that likes to have control and do things really well. So, funnily enough, I expanded at one stage. Myself, I had a business partner, and we had 8 businesses. Wow. And it felt good in one way, and I felt quite proud that I had all these businesses, but I just had this underlying feeling of anxiousness that none of them were doing the best they could be, and I couldn't be everywhere at the same time, and I couldn't be involved in them, and they weren't performing at their best. So over the years, I've sold the businesses, and I'm back down to last year. I had a business in Queenstown. That's right. Base Streetwear, and then I just had the 2 businesses, and even that I was struggling working in both shops to have it.
Were you physically driving back and forth?
Yeah, I was. I was working in both stores trying to create that culture, and I found it very, very difficult. And
especially when you're exhausted.
Closing Queenstown was great, and then shrinking down to 1 store. And ever since I've just had 1 business, and I've been the sole owner, just on my own, having that control right across the board, I've never been happier. and my business is performing way better
Wow.
than ever before. And my one business does better than several businesses, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think, if someone who's listening to this is on the verge of expanding and, growing their own business in quite a massive respect, like going from 1 to 8 over a certain amount of years is pretty huge, what advice would you give them? Do you think it was you personally who just needed one, or do you need to get the perfect staff in there, or...
Yeah, it's a tricky one. You've got to watch that you don't lose what you've got. So if you've got a business, I'd really encourage to look at yourself and what you've got and have all the systems in place and everything top notch before you move to the next business. Otherwise, you end up, instead of one business that's 80 or 90% or 100% awesome, you end up with two businesses that are 50% awesome, right. and it's actually, you're working twice as hard and you're doing worse. And it's part of business culture, as I say. We're really encouraged in business to grow and expand.
Yeah, for sure. It's a pride thing as well.
But I've done that, and then I've shrunk back, and I'm doing better being small and awesome than being big and okay.
Yeah, and also personally, like, overwhelmed compared to feeling...
I've got more time, and you have more time to work in your business and on your business and make it the best it can be, rather than running around and you just don't have the time to do that, and you don't have as much time with your family or your friends, and you're not doing as well, so you're actually doing worse, and you feel better about it because you've got all these different businesses or different shops, but deep down you're not doing as good. So yeah, stay small and awesome is what I'd encourage people to do.
That's awesome. It's really important to like hear the home truths of what it's like,
I wish someone had told me that years ago. But yeah, the culture is to grow and grow. And also there's a business culture out there that you shouldn't work in your business. You should work on your business. And that's a tricky one too, because you can take that too far and you end up working on your business. You employ a bunch of managers and different people that you're trying to do what you do, and you're on the outside. But if you're not involved, people don't work as hard. If you're involved in your business and you work in it and you do everything, I try to do every little thing, whether it's putting out the trash or some of the more menial tasks, some to more of the high end things in the business. You do a bit of everything. You understand what's involved, and your crew believe in you and want to work harder because you're part of the team and you're prepared to dig in and do what they do and stuff that's below them.
Which is awesome.
And you have much more respect, and your crew work, instead of working 80%, they work 110%.
Nailed it. So I've seen you working your magic on the shop floor, and, clearly I was trained by you all those years ago in retail. How do you find, it's exhausting working with people all day and dealing with new customers, and, everyone brings their own world that they've been dealing with that day into the shop in terms of customers, and you have to kind of navigate that chat. How do you wind down at the end of the day, or how do you manage that people factor? I know you love people, so it's probably not too much of a stressor for you in that respect, but introvert, extrovert, however you want to play it, do you find that exhausting, or do you thrive off that?
I tend to thrive off that, Jess. I really like talking to people, and I always have, and I find different personalities really interesting, and I love the psychology. I'm right into the psychology of people coming into the shop and talking to them and asking the right questions on why they've come into the store, or something about themselves, and I'm genuinely interested to try to help them, and I get a huge buzz from helping people find great clothing. I know myself, if I find some clothing that I love, it makes me feel better, and I feel really excited, and I feel that excitement from both male and female shoppers finding something cool. They can wear it, they feel good about themselves, they might get compliments on that, so that gives me a real buzz. So if I've had a busy day in the shop, I'll quite often come home quite buzzed out, say to Prue, "Oh my God, I was ripping today. It was so much fun. People buying gear all over the place." She'll be like, "Calm down. What are you doing?" It's probably more so if it's a quieter day and I haven't had a lot of interaction with people, or I've done a little bit too much office work, that I'm probably not quite as motivated. On the introvert-extrovert scale, I'm a bit of both. I think when I'm in the public eye or I'm in the shop, I really feel like I'm there to perform and be my best. Like you're up on stage, or you're a rock star, or you're in a movie, or actor. You want to actually perform the best you can and give people the best of yourself. So I really lift myself, and it makes me feel really good about myself. Funnily enough, in a social environment, I tend to be maybe a little bit more introverted. I don't like putting myself out there, and I like to be pretty low-key kind of guy. But in the store, no, I definitely try to give it my best and try to be upbeat and have people walk out feeling happier than when they walked in.
Yeah, that's awesome. You want to be the first person to feel that way in a social setting. You know, do you think that's got something to do with the fact that the shop is yours? Like, it's a safe space to share exactly what you just discussed in a way to help people feel amazing about themselves if you can get them into the right outfit, you know, compared to social, like many of us struggle in a random social setting to be that upbeat self.
I think you're probably right there, Jess. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
Epiphany.
Yeah, I do. It is a safe place, and it's somewhere that I know people are coming in to get an experience. And so I strive to make that experience awesome. But I'm definitely not hugely into the limelight in a social setting, and I don't like talking about myself generally. But I am quite enjoying this chat with you.
Thanks for coming along, Chris. It's great to hear all about your business and yourself. Do you have any sort of non-negotiables in your day? Certain exercise or meditation, or is there anything that you sort of...
stuff that I always do.
Or not necessarily in your day, but in your week.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a morning. I've found, I don't know whether it's just because I'm getting older, but I like to wake up early. I like to get up between 5 and 7 in the morning. I always have a hot water with lemon in it every day as my starter, and I do some stretching. And I just like that morning time. My family generally doesn't get up till around 8, so I have a good amount of... Prue gets up a little bit earlier, but I have some good time by myself, and sometimes I'll use that time to check emails or do some more complicated tasks where I wouldn't normally get interrupted during the day, and then I feel like I've started on a roll.
Yeah. Have you always done that, or has it just been something you've...
That's something that that's evolved over time, and I read quite a lot of books, and there was a marketing person, I can't remember, an Aussie marketing person that talked about getting up early in the morning, and he had, over a week he'd get an extra 2 hours per day, which was 10 hours a week or 12 hours a week in front of anyone else, because he got up a bit earlier, and it really stuck with me, and I started doing it, and I find that morning time is just awesome.
Totally with you on that.
I also read somewhere, actually Prue told me this one, that making your bed in the morning is a really amazing way to start your day, because you've set yourself up as doing something positive and
achieving something.
And so I really try to do that as well. And sometimes I just get up in the morning and play some guitar. I've been learning guitar for a couple of years, and I'll practice some guitar. But yeah, doing those things in the morning sets me up for a good start for my day, and I feel like I've already got something done, which makes me more motivated.
I love it. That's awesome. Are you like still snowboarding a lot in the winters?
Yeah, I love snowboarding. Probably don't do quite as much as I used to now I've got kids, but no, I try to go up 2 or 3 days a week, and I love going. My wife Prue is a great skier. I snowboard, and she's my favourite person to go
She's
snowboarding
like
with.
better than great.
Yeah, she's good. So it's great to be able to do something that you love with your wife. I really love that.
That's awesome. How do you compensate for that in summertime? You know, like you get that time together in winter. Then summer, you know, shop's busy, it's all go. How do you...
Yeah, summer's actually almost busier. But we try to do something one day a week, whether it's go mountain biking or paddle boarding. We quite often go paddle boarding down the river or hang out or go for a walk or something like that. But yeah, I do try to take a day or half day during the week while the kids are at school to have some hang time with my wife, Prue.
That's awesome. That's great. I like that one.
Yeah. And Prue also comes into the store and helps out quite regularly, so I see her there, and that's really awesome as well.
Cool. Family business.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, so we'll wrap up soon, but you've said that, you know, you wish someone had told you that it is hard to grow bigger with your business, and, you know, maybe it's nice to stay in your happy place. If someone was thinking about starting up a business, or there are new business owners out there, what kind of advice would you give them? Anything else, or?
Yeah, just do the best you can do, and remember that anyone that you employ is the face of your company, and they're going to be dealing with customers, so you really need to look after them and treat them well, and think about the way you'd like to be treated and treat them like that or better, and they will be awesome for you. And I think a lot of people forget that. So yeah, look after your crew.
In a genuine manner though, right? Like you can throw gifts and that kind of thing at a staff member, but if they don't actually feel heard, then it's not the same
about the
as
money that motivates people. Obviously people are motivated, you know, they want to get paid correctly, but it's thanking people genuinely and giving them a variety of tasks to do, give them some responsibility, and give them good positive feedback no matter what. If someone in my store makes a mistake, I will talk to them about it, and we'll discuss how we could remedy that, but I will never ever get someone in trouble in my store. Never. I don't want that, someone being nervous of making a mistake. We can always learn from that. But yeah, look after your team and love what you do. If you're working in some industry or whatever you do, if you don't love it, it's going to be much more difficult for you. You really need to love it.
It's really going to feel like
you
work.
really need to love it. I love going to work, and I love learning new things. My accounts guy's just retired, and I've just taken over the accounts position in the company, and it's quite challenging, but I'm finding it really rewarding because I'm learning something new, and I'm even more in control of my business. So yeah, get involved and love what you do, and don't grow too fast until you got your systems in place and you're already being awesome. So don't have a bunch of things that aren't awesome. Have one thing that's totally awesome.
So, and yeah, like slow and steady will win the race if you can get those systems in. I love it. Thank you so much. And now you guys have just opened your new online store?
Yeah, during lockdown, COVID-19, we worked hard on our online store, and I really wanted to. There was two-pronged thing there. It's something we'd always wanted to do when we had some time, and also it kept all my staff engaged in the business because they'd be sitting home being bored. So I tried to create something that got everyone involved, and it was a team effort. And yeah, between all of us, it was just great. And I'm really proud that we've opened our new online store.
Yeah, it looks great as well. I was having a good scroll through there the other night, being told by my husband not to buy anything tonight.
That was very exciting.
That's super cool. So what's the website?
basestreetwear.co.nz.
Cool.
We're loading. We don't have all the products that we have in store, but we're loading new stuff all the time. And I tried to give it a real cool Wanaka feel. We used a local photographer, Jody James, take some photographs with my manager Zoe in the store and her boyfriend out in Wanaka, and I've tried to give it a really strong Wanaka feel.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm really proud of that.
That's so cool. Good on you. So if people want to find out more, they can come down to the store. What's the address?
We're 22 Helwick Street, which is on the corner of Helwick and Dunmore Street.
Perfect.
Right in the centre of town. Or you can look us up online, check out our new online store, basestreetwear.co.nz.
And you guys are on Instagram?
We're on Instagram, Base Streetwear, and Facebook, Base Streetwear.
Perfect.
Check it out.
Cool.
It's totally rad.
Thank you so much, Chris, for your time today. It's awesome to hear everything that's been going on for you over the years, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you so much, Jess.
See
It was a
you.
pleasure.